Smalland Survive the Wilds belongs on your wishlist, and if it isn't yet, by the end of this video, it should be. But first, I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor for this video, ExpressVPN. Lost Ark was one of last year's big games, and it was also unfortunately region locked to everyone not in Europe or North America. We at Realm-Space Gaming believe that gaming is for everyone, and that's exactly why we recommend ExpressVPN. VPNs essentially allow you to mask your location, pretending that you're actually connecting from somewhere else, and in the case of Lost Ark, that means you can effectively pretend to connect from Europe or North America, granting you access to the game. This works for most region-locked games, and even enables you to see additional content in streaming services such as Netflix. If you think this sounds dangerous, I'm happy to assure you it's actually safer than your standard connection, as ExpressVPN acts as an added layer of security, preventing malicious people from accessing any of your personal information with best-in-class encryption. You'll also be doing your private life a favor, as ExpressVPN stops your internet service provider from spying on your data. Here in the UK, your ISP is legally required to keep logs of every site you visit and store it for up to 2 years, which is a shocking invasion of privacy that I personally would pay any price to prevent. Thankfully, you won't have to do that to try ExpressVPN, as they've been kind enough to sponsor your first 3 months on the house when you click the link in the description down below. Hi everyone, this is Jason from Realm-Space Gaming, and today we're diving into everything you need to know about the upcoming Smalland Survive the Wilds. With a world that is tiny but a scope that is huge, take on a small folk character Fae and begin your survival crafting adventure in a world that the devs have called big, scary, and purposefully overwhelming, with features such as pets, mounts, dungeons, bosses, NPCs, visual character progression, 10-player multiplayer, and much, much more. It's worth noting that many people are comparing this game with Obsidian's Grounded, and while these games certainly bear similarities, such as the premise of playing a small character in a big world and having to fight insects and animal bosses with a crafting system to make stuff from the loot, the core gameplay premise differs strongly between them, with Grounded offering a more story-based campaign progression approach, and Smalland taking the world to a new scale with a more open-ended approach in a world that is chock full of lore and secrets. Starting with some of the environments we see in Smalland, the devs have stated that the world is split up into different zones, each one with its own biome featuring different flora and fauna, and each one is affected by different seasons. This comes across in a big way when we see what was once a lush green zone covered in thick snow. We've seen grassy looking garden zones by a river, huge trees in a more wooded zone, and a dark and spooky looking swamp zone, just to name a few of them. We know that the starting zone is known as the burrows, and that as you venture outward from them, enemies get tougher and stronger. Each zone will feature its own Pathfinder NPCs, special explorers who are experts on the local area and surrounding inhabitants. They'll often know about potions, recipes, armor, and other information that you might need to progress or conquer the challenges specific to a particular area. Speaking of NPCs, the devs have put in an insane amount of work designing each and every one of them down to the smallest details to tell a story about their history and who they are, and they've also talked about the complex relationships we might have with some of the characters, even depending on what we're wearing, such as with the Witch of the Swamps taking a toxic liking to us once we start wearing the wicker armor. It has been stated that a faction system is in the works, and while it might not be ready for the early access release on the 29th of March, we're pretty excited to see what this means for the variety of content available in this game. As far as the content itself goes, let's take a deep dive into the creatures. We'll be seeing insects such as different varieties of ants, flies, bees, wasps, butterflies, stag beetles, rhino beetles, spiders, and while we're on the note of spiders, we're not sure exactly what kind, although the devs have said they've included a special suite of settings for those of you with arachnophobia, ranging from fewer legs to round spiders with no fangs. And the spiders also showcase the AI and combat patterns of some of the creatures, as they might fight with each other, and their combat movements when they do so are really cool to follow. Moving on with more creatures, we have dragonflies, snails, ladybugs, grasshoppers, cockroaches, different varieties of birds, including owls and smaller birds, different varieties of lizards, toads, and scorpions. To add to that, these are just the ones that we know about, and the devs have hinted there may already be a whole lot more. At least, if there aren't, it seems likely we can expect more as early access develops. In addition to that, each and every creature has a place on the food chain and an assigned threat level, personality, and potential benefits. Some of them are usable as mounts if you're able to tame and train them, such as the lizard and the grasshopper, whereas it's possible we may get to see snails or ants as pets or item transport. This game has a living ecosystem that we'll get to see in action, and we can't wait to dive in. Crafting and exploration look like they're going to be big parts of Smalland Survive the Wilds, and taking a closer look at the armors we can craft or find, the depth is already exciting. Armor sets come in a wide variety of styles, each suited to different environmental conditions, but also influencing the creatures you interact with. Some armors will make creatures more friendly towards you, while others might make them scared of you even if you were already allied with them. Some armors are easy to obtain, others have been stated to be much more difficult and feature special traits. As one such example, the devs have said that the ghost ants only appear under certain special conditions, and that by befriending them and doing quests for them, you'll eventually be able to craft the ghost ant armor. It's important to note that this is all entirely optional, and the devs have made clear that they want you to look and feel good, so you can always mix and match gear as much as you like rather than just optimizing for stats. We've also seen that some armors feature wings that allow you to glide, but it's possible this might also be an element of RPG style character progression, and we're looking forward to seeing more of that too. Another thing we really want to bring across is the size and variety of the world in Smalland. Here is some early development footage from years ago just to show you the environmental variety planned in this world, ranging from the wildest areas that are overgrown and rich in resources to bare and desolate areas that present a danger just to cross or enter, including man-made settlements that seem to form part of the levels. We're very much looking forward to seeing what these look like in early access, as the game has undergone big changes to the visuals and it now has a striking appearance that just looks and feels good. To bring these environments to life in another way, an amazing amount of work has also gone into the game's audio design, as the devs say they've taken loads of sounds into account for the small size of the characters, sounds that are usually inaudible to humans even, and if you check out the dev diary they made to showcase this audio, you'll see exactly what we mean. There's a lot that can come across in sound, such as whether a creature is inquisitive, defensive, or aggressive. The difference between a purring, hissing, or meowing cat, but applied to insects whom you can befriend or battle with. Speaking of battles, we've already touched on a number of potential creatures to fight, and with all the armors that'll be possible, it really looks like there will be a lot of variety to combat. With multiplayer servers that'll feature up to 10-player co-op, we can expect to see some true raid boss level enemies, and while the devs have stated that they won't be traditional MMO-style dungeons as instanced caves, there will be areas where the environment creates a sort of natural dungeon, such as a leafy bramble maze with a boss in the middle, or a field of natural obstacles that are difficult to traverse. If you'd prefer to fight against your friends rather than by their side, PvP is also being implemented as an optional extra. Right now there are options to create PvP-enabled servers or to turn friendly fire on your own private world, but the devs have been carefully listening to community feedback and know that there's some demand for a more dedicated competitive PvP space. From the last update they gave on this, it looks like PvP invasions, similar to what we see in the Dark Souls games, might be on the cards, but these are still features in development that we'll see as early access progresses. Honestly, it's refreshing to see a game with such possibility and such incredible verticality enter the gaming scene once more. And Smalland Survive the Wilds looks like it resembles an MMO-style game without all the negatives that might usually entail. Early access launches on Steam on the 29th of March, and we plan to jump straight in, so if you want to see us cover more of Smalland Survive the Wilds, be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll give you the best guides that are quick and let you jump straight back into gaming. I also encourage you to check out our Discord server, where we're growing a passionate community of gamers and giving away some of the top titles. It's a place just to have fun, talk about your favorite games, and connect with the community here at Realm Space Gaming. My name is Jason, and here's a big thank you from everyone at Realm Space Gaming for watching, and don't forget to enjoy the rest of your day.